Hello, we are Loops and Lap Bars International, and we're here today at a very exclusive event, if you will. Quite excited about this one.
Yes, we are here at the RIP Fantasy Island event
For Fear Island.
For Fear Island. We're here as part of their content creator program. Because that's what we do.
Yeah, it all came about because early on in the year I asked if, while we came to visit, it was alright to record on their rides, and one thing led to another, blah, 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 here we are. Not going to go too much into it, because they didn't really want me to go too much into it, but anyway.
Yes.
Here we are. So, we arrived at the event, and you've got sort of parking included and whatnot, so we've popped in.
Yep.
We've got a buffet, food. We've got
buffet food, drinks on arrival, and there's any evening entertainment on as well. There's also a Q&A session tonight, and this is in between us doing all the Fear Island side that Fantasy Island has to offer.
Yeah, the scare mazes. So our first one, because we're batched into groups, we're part of the Witches, which is Group D, and our first one's going to be Outpost.
Yep.
Star and Dave Bateman, who are creative team here, so if any of you've got any questions, get them in your minds.
So as you can see, we haven't moved, because we're now going to talk about Ravenous, the food that we've had, as well as Outpost. Outpost was the first scare maze that we've done, and it's the only one out of all the ones that are on offer that we have done before. Because we came in 2022. I think it was just an impromptu visit. And we were impressed.
We were vastly impressed with their offerings back then, and I've got to say, they are keeping up to that high standard.
Yeah, so they have allowed us to record in the scare mazes, but they've said to keep it to a bare minimum. So I'm probably not going to show too much. I'll show snippets here and there, because it's one of those. I wouldn't want to watch somebody walking through. I don't think anybody else would. So come and experience it yourself. But anyway, Outpost. It's sort of set post zombie apocalypse, and the idea is that you're going through some form of basement cellar, compound area that has been mostly cleared out of zombies, but not entirely cleared out of zombies. And it's probably, out of the two, because we've only done two so far, and obviously compared to the previous years that we've done, it's probably a really good entry-level maze, because it's not too scary, but it's also not
it's not going to be like Dave says, it's not going to be an easy walkthrough. If you've got kids that are on that cusp of wanting to do something, this is probably the perfect, like Dave says, starter maze. If you've got kids that really do get affected by jump scares, dark areas, and I mean properly dark, then I would not recommend any of the mazes here for them, but there is other stuff still on that they can go do and still take part in the spooky fun.
Yeah, we'll cover a lot more of that when we do the full video, because there will be another video coming out from this, because obviously this is part of the VIP event, the RIP. But we are coming back next weekend, to experience it full. So that's Outpost. Then we came back and had some dinner, which is a buffet lunch, and you got things like
pizza, hot dogs, chips, nachos, and chili as well.
Yeah, and the chili was lovely. The only thing I would say, and it's not really sort of a disappointment or anything, but I would really like to see if it was themed. Because they could quite easily have the chili being spilled out of a corpse or something like that. But it's you don't have to do that. It's just because the other parks that we've been to have done that in the past. But anyway, so that led us on to Ravenous.
Yes.
Now, Ravenous is a bit of a step up, isn't it?
It is, yes. When we were here a couple of years ago, it was themed slightly different, and it was Voodoo Villa, and it was all kind of set in the voodoo and New Orleans and bayou swamps and stuff, and it was really well done. And I have to say, they've taken it up a notch with this.
It's instead of it being themed around sort of villa, it's very similar. It feels very similar to the buckwheats from Thorpe Park.
It does. It's very sort of buckwheaty. Last house on the left. Sort of
house on the prairie.
Your stereotypical inbred family in the southern hills of America kind of situation. Go in with that, you will pretty much be. It's along them veins. And it's brilliant. Well done. The sets designs in there are brilliant. The smells are brilliant. And it's enough scares and enough to make you think you're going to get scared when you don't. It's quite psychological as that one, but it's good fun.
Less jumpy and more like I say, it plays on your mind a little bit more. Spoilers here.
A little bit more in your face.
Yeah, I'll put spoilers here so that you don't go and see too much. But essentially, when you go in, there is a sort of a compression wall that forces you through. Now, I was expecting this to actually split us up, and thankfully it didn't.
No.
Once you've done that, you go through scenes and shows and such like that, and then you appear into like almost like a courtyard sort of area with a load of junk everywhere. And I think the idea behind this is that they can batch people in and stuff like that, like pre-shows, if you will.
Yeah.
Anyway, they start sort of taunting you and stuff like that because it's the family and stuff. There's a guy that pees into a bucket, and then the father gets really angry about the guy peeing into the bucket, and then chucks the bucket of pee at people, which so you get wet on that. A bit later on, I got sprayed.
There's a few spray bits, and but you do not get soaked with this. But yeah, it's something a bit different, and it's that next step up.
Yep.
Be perfect for kind of sort of 10, 11 plus. I wouldn't realistically take any kids under 10 in there.
Yeah, and then there's the dining scene, which is exactly as it sounds. You all sit down around a table, say grace, and then close your eyes, and they start picking on people as your eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Things start happening, and then basically you're booted out quite abruptly.
Quite abruptly, yeah.
But really good fun was that one. So I think next one was 9 circles that we're going to be doing next. So we'll talk about that one obviously after we've done that, because this is the one that's really been pushed this year, I think, hasn't it? So and apparently you go on your own. So
so this could be an interesting one.
Yeah, so we'll see what that was like.
This is 9 circles. It is a solo walk
Fresh meat. Perfect. A nice, healthy looking corpse.
Thank you.
In there. Don't threaten the eggs.
Oh, so 9 circles.
Different.
Different, yeah. Spoilers once again, but it's somewhat unique in the fact that they are forcing you to go through on your own. It's
for the most part.
Yeah.
The first half to 2/3 of that maze you are in by yourself. You do it all by yourself before you potentially meet up with another couple of people and do the last couple of sections.
Yeah, I think it's that's part of the only sort of criticism I have with it, in that it's supposed to be a unique experience in that you go through on your own. But I caught up with Tracy because Tracy went in before me, but from the sounds of it,
I come out after him.
Yeah. So what happens is you get batched in, and then you're into a room with a gravekeeper kind of fellow, and
Essentially, you get buried.
Yeah, you get put into a coffin sort of thing, and each coffin will have either the next or last person, blah blah blah, and then selected at random who goes next, and then you make your way through. And there are quite a lot of different scenes in there, such as like a butchery scene and all sorts of other things, and the creepy like sort of limbs. It's like a room full of limbs.
Of limbs, which does really not smell nice.
Yeah, but it's really well done, is that?
Yeah.
And there is a room later on that really is reminiscent of Villa Voodoo, and it's so wonderful because they put smoke on the floor and project a laser over the top of it, so it looks like the top of water, and they've got a spongy floor. So it's like, you've just sunk into a bog. Really, really well done. I love that. But like I say, you're batched in individually, and what I didn't like so much is the fact that I caught up with Tracy, so I didn't feel alone anymore.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. I don't think it's necessarily anything has gone wrong with it or anything like that. I just kind of wish that the scare actors would hold you in place. But there is a really phenomenal scene, and I won't spoil it at all, with the Plague Doctor. That was done incredibly well. Was that guy actually part of the group, or was he an actor?
No, I think he was an actor. I think that's one of the members of public that you potentially meet on your way through.
This is what it's so well done. I didn't even know if the guy was an actor or not, and it was really, really well done. Was that? But yeah,
and it's one of them from the outset. If you're thinking about giving this a go, give it a go, because sort of it is more of a walkthrough, and then with a few jump scares. But because you're by yourself, the jump scares are not constant.
Yeah.
So it's more a case of you think it builds it up because you think something could happen in these scenes. You wait for it to happen, and it doesn't happen, which is nice. Like, I was a bit nervy going through this, but once I kind of figured out the process, I was like, right, okay, it's not so bad now. And then you'd find maybe it was the set pieces that got me screaming all the way through that.
Yeah.
More than anything.
It was really well done, but I think we're both still in agreement that Ravenous was the best maze that we've done so far.
I quite liked Outpost 9, if I'm honest.
Yes,
Ravenous was good on the one hand. Outpost 9 was the better one for the scares, but we've still got Psycho Manor to do. So I reckon this could top it.
Well, Psycho Manor, from the sounds of it, is a bit more sort of family friendly, but I say Ravenous is the best, but they're thinking, actually there was good parts of Nine Circles.
Yeah.
There was good parts of Ravenous, there was good parts of Outpost. They're all, the quality once again is there, you know, that they're on a par with each other. So, nothing really to complain about, other than the fact that you catch up with each other in Nine Circles. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything.
No.
So that's Nine Circles. Like I say, we've still got Psycho Manor to do, is that what you said?
Yep.
Psycho Manor, and then that will probably finish us off for the evening of obviously the scare mazes. Still got some entertainment on. What's the bloke's name?
Lindsay Pepper.
Lindsay Pepper. Yeah, and I normally don't particularly like live music, but he is very listenable.
Yes.
He doesn't butcher anything, and he's quite easy to listen to. So anyway, that's that. We'll update you after we've done Psycho Mansion. Final one to talk about.
Psycho Mansion.
Which, from the sounds of it, in previous years has been more of an adult-orientated experience, whereas this year, because they couldn't have the usual one that is orientated around families, they've had to adapt this one, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's basically your standard funhouse with pretty much all the fun taken out and Halloween themes put in.
There's. It would have been actually quite nice to have some of the funhouse elements in it, used to essentially scare you because you're not expecting that. The story of this one is that there's a bride who was left at the altar, and rather
she went on a bit of a killing spree,
and she killed herself as well.
Yeah, and then killed herself. And she's now trapped in the house.
She's trapped in the house along with all the spirits for the people that she's killed, and just the series of sort of events. It was rooms rather across several levels. You go up and down. There's a couple of scare actors, but it's probably the weakest.
Yeah, it's the tamest one out of them all. So if you've got little say under 10s, this is perfect for them if they want to go do a scare maze. There's a couple of actors in, but they don't jump out. You can see them kind of well ahead of times because you're sent in groups of 6 on average. So if they're not in front, they'll still see them anyway. But even if you are in front, you'll still see them. They don't jump out. They just kind of come up to you and creep you out a little bit.
But it's far from massively scary. Apart from the very ending, but that's one of the things that shouldn't really be spoiled because it's one of those things that you really want to experience because it is quite good fun. I was not expecting that. So that was that's Psycho Mansion. On the whole, I would say that they've all been very good. They're all worth doing. Especially because I think when you buy your tickets, normally they're included in the price anyway.
It's a slightly more expensive ticket to include the Halloween mazes in than what standard park ticket is, but it's not too much more, and it's actually really good value for money.
Yeah, and each one's priced at £6 a go anyway, regular price. So 6 to 24 quid for them all. You know, plus your park ticket, which will come as a bargain price anyway. It's definitely worth it. So that's that. This one's had a bit too much to drink.
He's definitely been on the spirits.
Walking back to the car.
Yep.
So this is just going to be a final wrap up if we can get the camera to get on both of us in there. So first and foremost, thank you Fantasy Island for inviting us down.
Yes, we've had a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
And we are definitely coming back next week with my sister and my nephew, so that's going to be interesting, and we're going to have a video for that as well.
Yeah, because obviously they're going to be slightly different. It'd be nice to see how the VIP event compares to the general public, as we said. But once again, thanks for that. There's not really much more to add on it.
No, there's not. The mazes are brilliant, so get yourself down here. It's well worth a visit. And if you're kind of tossing up where you want to go this Halloween, definitely give here a try because it will be slightly quieter than Towers, Chesterton, the big ones, predominantly.
Yeah, but you're not getting any less quality. In fact, you'd probably argue you're getting more quality. They really do seem to be putting a lot of effort in. The Q&A was really insightful about the way that they build these things and the ideas they have, and the fact that they've got ideas that they can't put into mazes because it's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
So it's all dead interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of the Fantasyland VIP evening. I'm still quite excited about the fact that we got an invite to one of these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, we're going to sign out from Fantasyland.
Yes.
That's us for tonight.
It is.